Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. Today we're back on Titan looking at a new build that honestly I never would have thought could have existed. This build makes full use of the new sandbox to give ourselves infinite healing, infinite ammo, and crazy team support, turning the pain points of this new sandbox into non-factors. Now quickly before we do get into the actual build itself, of course, if you like my content or like builds, make sure you subscribe. That way you don't miss one of my future uploads. And as a reminder, there are timestamps alongside a dim link down below. That way you can get all the information you need pretty easily, or you could even just take the build I've made for yourself. Now to start us off, we want to look at our exotic armor piece, and this one just received a major buff, kind of creating this entire build. The exotic of choice is the Actium War Rig chest piece. Its exotic perk reads, steadily reloads a portion of your equipped auto rifle or machine guns magazine from reserves. Final blows with auto rifles or machine guns boost their stability, ammo generation, and damage. Provides a moderate benefit to their airborne effectiveness. Now in game, we can see this very clearly as we shoot our auto rifle and our magazine reloads gradually over time. This means for most auto rifles and machine guns, you'll never actually have to manually reload your weapon. For the damage increase side of things, we can see this bar on the left side of our screen that increases with each kill. There are 10 individual stacks represented by 10 little bars. The damage increase is linear, starting at about 1 or 2% with one stack, going all the way to 16% at 10. These stacks do decay fairly quickly at the top end, so we won't always have max benefits, but you can kind of expect to just be doing flat out more damage when you use an auto rifle with this exotic equipped. The increases are good, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they're so necessary that you'd have to focus on keeping your bar full. As for the next part of the exotic and what truly drew me towards it, we have increased ammo generation. In this clip, it takes like 20 kills to fill up our special ammo meter and spawn a brick. With Actium War Rig equipped and this build going at full throttle, that goes to about 10. And when we grab that brick, it's 50 rounds. This means we are spawning more ammo than we are using, and assuming you are even doing difficult content that can double ammo expenditure, we're still in the green, which in very simple terms means we have infinite ammo. But now stepping away from our exotic armor, we have the exotic auto rifle that you've been seeing in the footage. We are using Choir of One. I don't think this auto rifle needs much introduction. It's one of the most meta weapons ever, and it's so strong that it caught itself disabled for the day one raid race. Its exotic perk reads, fires extended range, heavy caliber projectiles at a reduced rate of fire. Deals increased precision damage when aiming down sights. Now this is pretty much just saying that it's a special ammo auto rifle, which is unique on its own. The actual exotic functionality portion comes from its second perk, which reads, rapid final blows cause targets to explode into a pool of radiolarian fluid. Hip firing launches multiple projectiles at once in a slower moving spread pattern. Projectiles detonate on impact. In-game, at the firing range, we can see the auto rifle's ADS variant pretty much shredding through enemies, dealing very high damage. But then if we swap over to hip firing, which is firing this 5-shot spread at a time, it begins to actually nuke things. The hipfire form of Choir is incredibly strong, but because of its ammo-hungry nature, it can be hard to use it in the current sandbox. Although, this build generates so much ammo, that's just no longer a worry. Now, besides having incredible ad clear and damage output, Choir of One still has a little bit more to offer, and that is in the form of its selectable catalysts. The one that we will use for this build, as it is necessary within our subclass, is Volatile Rounds. This perk states, defeating a target creates a void burst. Hitting other targets with this burst makes them volatile and grants you volatile rounds for a short duration. In-game, we can see this easily as we fire into groups of adds. The volatile explosions go off, making nearby enemies volatile, as well as we receive that volatile rounds buff, which lets us apply volatile to anything we directly shoot. Now heading into our subclass, we are going to be on Pure Void. Left to right, our super of choice can be anything. I personally enjoy using Twilight Arsenal, so that's what I've decided to run with. For our class ability, we run Rally Barricade because we're playing PvE, and we actually want to shoot from behind it. For our melee, I'm using the recently buffed Shield Throw. It isn't too crazy, but it isn't bad, and it fits this build the best. And for Grenade, I run Vortex Grenade, but you could swap it for your favorite, it doesn't really matter. On from abilities, we have our aspects, and the most important one for this build is Controlled Demolition. This aspect states that your abilities apply volatile and that volatile explosions heal us. In game, using just Choir of One, we heal so much thanks to this aspect, and this isn't going to be the only source of healing we have, which is making us very hard to kill. And what's more, this healing you're seeing also applies to nearby allies, making this very good for when you run as a fire team. Back in our subclass, the second aspect we run is Bastion. This causes our super and barricades to grant void overshields to us and allies. In game, it's pretty easy to see. We pop a barricade and get an overshield. We can take damage and continue to regen it as well. And as a reminder, while overshield is active, we have a 70% DR applied to us. Now, to finish out our subclass, we have our fragments. First up is Echo of Starvation. When we pick up a Void Breach or Orb, we proc Devour and heal for a chunk of health. This will compound with Controlled Demolition to give us massive self-sustain simply for killing things. Our next fragment is Echo of Persistence, so our Void Overshields and Devour last even longer. Then after that is Echo of Cessation, mainly so killing volatile enemies makes Void Breaches. But then lastly is Echo of Undermining, so we can use our grenade to weaken enemies for even more damage. And then outside of our subclass, we have our other weapons. Inside the kinetic slot, I find myself using Mint Retrograde, the Special Pulse. This is a case of double special, which cuts our ammo picked up in half, but we make so much that I found it to be perfectly fine. Literally the only time I felt like this the entire DLC. And then on from that, we have our heavy, which could be a machine gun to match up with Actium or Rig, but that's a bit redundant when it comes to the actual playstyles of Choir of One versus a machine gun, so I opted for a sword for movement or a rocket launcher for better boss damage. Now after weapons, we have our armor. Stat-wise, I went with heavy investment in the weapon stat. Up to 100, this will slightly increase our damage output against rank and file enemies, and then above that, we get a small chance at extra ammo from bricks. Besides that though, 100 super is very good for having more supers to throw, and then the leftover stats can be whatever. My armor is still pretty bad as you can see. But then for armor mods, on the helmet we run 2 special ammo finders for even more ammo and avoid siphon. On the arms we run a firepower for orbs from grenade kills, and a bolstering detonation for barricade energy from grenade damage. Test is going to be for resists, and 1 or 2 void ammo generation mods for even more ammo. Legs has a void scavenger for, you guessed it, even more ammo, and then an innervation for some grenade energy on orb pickup, and an absolution for a bit of everything on orb pickup. And then class item has a special finisher just in case, a powerful attraction to suck up orbs when we barricade, and a proximity ward to become immune when finishing enemies. I should also mention, feel free to run void surges on this build. This is one of the very few builds that it actually makes sense to do that. And then to finish us off before our gameplay loop, we have the artifact. There actually isn't much. Run Overload Rapid Fire so Choir can stun champs, Elemental Benevolence so when you provide overshields you get some barricade back, Refresh Threads for more ability regen from Void Breaches, and then Shield Crush, which will regen our melee more quickly when we have an overshield active. The damage increase to our melee doesn't actually matter too much. And then to finish the video, we have our gameplay loop. Guys, this may be the most simple one ever. Just shoot Choir of One. Kill things with it, use ADS or hipfire depending on their health bar and how quickly you want them gone. Kills will give you ammo, repeat forever. Orbs and Void Breaches give you Devour, making every explosion or kill refund tons of health. Use abilities and barricade when you need to bunker down, super when you see a boss or something, and that's about it. Infinite special ammo means you really need to dump, so feel free to use your kinetic slot for even more damage, like how I mentioned with the special pulse. You also get a ton of heavy with this build, so feel free to let that loose too. And with that, I think that's everything. Thank you so much for getting this far into the video. Remember that there's a dim link down below, that way you can just take this build for yourself. If you want to support me, support the channel, a like, a comment, a subscription goes a very long way. Joining the Discord also lets me know that you want to engage with the community further, and I'd love to see you there. If you want to support me and support the channel, but you can't think of a comment down below, DP. And with that, as usual, I hope you are having a great day, and I hope to see you around.